right, we got breaking news on the Fan, and it is another piece. It is not Pete Carroll stepping away from the Seattle Seahawks after 14 seasons. That old news. New news, Nick Saban has stepped down and is retiring as the head coach of the University of Alabama. This, according to Chris Lowe of ESPN, now being picked up by several outlets out there. This is a monumental shift in the world of college football. And this one also will hit locally because you would be crazy. Think about this. Dan Lanning at the University of Oregon, what he has been able to do in 2 years. And building a winner and building a contender. You can cue the Washington jokes with still can't beat UW. That's okay. But Dan Lanning is regarded as one of the best young coaches in college football. Dan Lanning took a job where he was getting paid scraps to be on the staff and to learn under Nick Saban as a graduate assistant, okay? He has cut his teeth in the SEC at Alabama and then at Georgia as an outside linebackers coach and defensive coordinator there. And he has been exceptional at Oregon in these past 2 years. Dan Lanning has always talked about, being where your feet are and being a guy that he wanted to be in a place for a very long time. We heard him knock down the rumors of A&M and do it pretty definitively when those rumors came up. That was a program that could back up the Brinks truck and say, hey, you want SEC? You want to come in? Yes, here it is. We give you all the money in the world, all the resources in the world, and put you in the SEC. And Lanning definitively said, I ain't going anywhere. He got his pay bumped up from $4.5 million up to $7 million with escalators every single year just this past season. Lanning will be a target by Alabama. That is full stop. And it is a place that he has been, and that is the best job in college football. You have deep pockets. You have rich tradition. You have a loaded and absolutely loaded roster at Alabama. They are going to be poised and ready to win and win right away. Lanning is going to be a target for Alabama. Full stop. Full stop. Dan Lanning will be a target. Oregon now has to match whatever money that they are going to be willing to offer to Alabama and hope that what Lanning has said in the past of wanting his family, wanting his sons to be in Oregon, and the affinity and affection that he has for Oregon to continue. This is like we talk about the dream job of Mario that ripped Mario Cristobal out, the dream job that ripped Willie Taggart out, thankfully, from Oregon.
Sometimes the ripcord is good.
This is absolutely a job that he will be a candidate for, and I would be shocked if he did not listen to it. This is going to be one of the ones where, like Oregon, there's very few jobs that Lanning probably holds in higher regard. Right. In his eyes and from what he has said. This is one of them.
But also from his family standpoint, like he is from the South.
He's from Missouri.
Right.
Yep.
And so he gets to be closer to home. Now, all that being said, you hope that you have built a program and
a program.
You're right. And an environment that you're going to be able to keep Lanning here, because from everything that he's built and the way that this program seems to be marching forward, he seems like the right guy. And he seems like he is building a team that when you look at them on the field and in recruiting circles and recruiting rankings, you are entering a stratosphere where you can be talked about as a tier 1 program.
Yep.
But when the tier 1 program of all programs opens, and unfortunately for Duck fans, it's the region where that head coach is from, and it's the one place where he could be willing to look. You got to be hoping that maybe someone's willing to start shelling out some extra dough. Because you're going to probably have to do that to make sure that you keep Coach Lanning.
Look, we're flipping this immediately right now to Lanning, right? But you think of it in these terms, they are going to go after him. And look, they're probably going to go after guys like Sark, Lane Kiffin. There's a lot of coaches in Nick Saban's coaching tree that are going to be targets there. Dan Lanning is the top candidate. And Brett McMurphy's already talking about it. Chris Vanini is already talking about it. The guys who 100% are in this world. Lanning is a hot name, and he did an incredible job. Incredible job here at Oregon. Now it is all of this offseason. It was like, hey, things are finally going the way, waters are calming. Oregon is recruiting at an incredible clip. Now the waters are getting rough again. This is going to be interesting to see. But there are things that we need to consider, right? We remember this from Dan Lanning. My drop board isn't working over here.
It's on.
I know.
It's not me.
I know. It's just I'm not able to push the buttons over here. Remember Dan Lanning when he said, y'all got $20 million? $20 million buyout.
They got $20 million.
They got $20 million, but y'all got $20 million to buy me out. Those are things to keep in consideration. This is and look, Lanning knocked it out of the park in Houston during the college football playoff.
He did a great job.
He did a fantastic job.
It comes in 3 though, right? This has to show that Bill
Belichick is going to be gone.
Well, it comes in 3s, and you have old great coaches. We were talking about it before the show started with Pete Carroll. Where does Pete Carroll rank all-time coaching? We're saying somewhere top 15 easy. Hopefully, he's in the top 10 or so. Mm-hmm. When you look at Nick Saban, he's got to be right there as well.
Oh my goodness. This is and look, you're looking at a ton of smoke now. Of Dan Lanning will be the top target. Kalen DeBoer, Dabo Swinney, James Franklin, Mike Norvell, Marcus Freeman. Those are the names that have been thrown out by Pete Thamel of ESPN. But Lanning is, look, he went to go and learn under the foot of Nick Saban.
Could Dabo be in that list? Because he was at one point, and he's a former player, and that was the whole talk. That's how you get Dabo out of Clemson.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Look, this is going to be the biggest win yet, though. If Oregon can hold on to Dan Lanning,
I think Duck fans have to start. They have to start nagging Coach Lanning. Like, what? He's good, but he's not. He hasn't won a title like Dabo Swinney.
Yeah. Oh, you just started knocking him down a peg on social media, huh?
Look, Coach Lanning's pretty good, but he doesn't have a number 1 recruiting class.
Yeah. Yeah, but this makes for an uneasy time, an uneasy offseason right now, because they're going to go after him. They're going to go after him in a big way.
And they're going to put a lot of money out there for him. And this is the one, I feel like, aside from Alabama, is there another job that would even scare you for them to go get Lanning? I feel like this is doomsday.
Well, yeah, and that's why I said at the beginning of this, like, you talk about dream jobs, like he's a William Jewell guy. He's an NAI guy, and he said, like, hey, I don't got that dream job. Alabama may be it.
Time to start nagging him.
But you take the words of him, and these are really hard to do at this point because it's Alabama.
Mm-hmm.
You take the words of what he has said, and you say, it doesn't sound like he wants to be anywhere else.
Right.
That's a lot easier to say before Alabama becomes available, and your name immediately jumps to the top as the number 1 target.
It's a lot easier to say no to A&M.
Absolutely. Absolutely it is. Absolutely it is. But if you're Phil Knight It's time to start backing up that Brinks truck right now, even though you already did before. By the way, if you're wondering what kind of cash Alabama was throwing Nick Saban's way, average annual salary of $11.8 million at Bama.
Wow.
Yep. 11.8.
Do you think that there's anyone in the NFL that they could go after?
Oh, I don't. Bill Belichick.
Well, I mean,
no, I don't think so. I honestly
was there.
I don't think so. I don't think so. I think Kalen DeBoer is one that people need to start thinking about, though. Kalen DeBoer is a name that you should be thinking about. Like, Oregon fans should be the most worried. Washington fans should be worried too, because they could go after Kalen DeBoer and say, "We saw what you did with talent. We saw you in the national championship game. Come down." So, and here's the other thing too. Do you want to follow the legend?
Do you want to follow the legend, or do you want to become the legend?
Yeah.
Where you're already kind of building it in a legendless place for the most part.
Yeah.
Like,
Sec, welcome to the Beavers' life.
Not quite. Do you think that Coach Bray's up for this position?
I doubt it. I doubt it.
We don't know for sure.
Don't want to rule him out.
I think that would be unfair.
Yeah. Tex says Jonathan Smith's available for Bama. Go take him. Doesn't even coach a game at Michigan State. All right, a lot to unpack here. Let's go get some details.